Hello, my name is Gareth. You're watching the Hub Online Network, and today we have Katherine Allen from WorkBC in Ashcroft. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Katherine Allen, the site supervisor at WorkBC here in Ashcroft. The contractor that runs the WorkBC offices in this area also operates two other offices, Lillooet, and then the main office is in Merritt. And the head office is actually in Kamloops. And yeah, we're available in the community to offer employment services to everybody to help them, assist them in their employment goals.
What is your job title?
I'm the site supervisor at the office there, yeah.
And what have you had to do? Is this like this is going to sound bad, but is this like a career? Or is this like a job that you have to work your way up to site supervisor?
I did actually. I started in reception initially in the old contract. The new contract just started here in April of 2019. And I moved up quite quickly into resource worker and then case manager and employment advisor. And I got the job as the site supervisor now. So I've
Awesome.
had 2.5 years of experience so far. So
Has now WorkBC is mainly helping people essentially.
Yes.
Is that something that you've always personally wanted to do? Is be a human resources type of person?
Not particularly. I didn't choose that type of career, but I've always enjoyed helping people, and it's a great job. And yeah, we do a lot for everybody in the community. So
Awesome. Well, okay, so let's talk about what WorkBC does then. And for full disclosure of whatever, WorkBC actually got the Hub Online Network that they helped in the starting process of us, where we had a job creation program.
yes.
Can you explain what a job creation program is?
So the job creation projects are just various projects that certain businesses, agencies within the community, United Way, for example, or the Invasive Species Council of BC. We have one of those right now, and what it is it gives clients a experience in a certain avenue or career, to work towards their employment goals, get more experience, certifications, different things like that. Like the Invasive Species Council one we have right now, we are still actually seeking one more participant for that one. And that one is for weed suppression, different things like that. And with that one, clients get their pesticide control certification, first aid, ATV operating, different things like that. So yeah, it really helps them out, especially the young people. They can gain experience in doing different things and can so that they can get more experience.
The invasive species thing, I used to have a studio out of the old dental office. Is that the same group of people?
That's where they rent the office when they have the program going on.
Nice.
And previous to that, we actually had one with United Way for fire mitigation in the community as
Oh,
well.
wow.
And that one was very successul, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do a lot of different things.
So that's the job creation projects.
Yes.
So now what's sort of the meat and potatoes of what WorkBC does?
So mostly, we have a resource area that anybody can come in and use. We will help with resumes. You can use the computers, work on your resume, send resumes out to, do your job search. We do workshops. We can provide training, small training for clients, like first aid, different things like that. Various services, of course, are dependent upon eligibility. Like for a big training program, we have skills training. You would need to have an EI attachment for that one is the main criteria, right? Because that one is a bigger training. We actually can put $7,500 towards tuition.
Oh, wow.
With that program, yeah. And then clients can apply for living supports or various other supports that they might need to complete their training program, and generally it's a 1 to 2 year training diploma or certificate. We can provide job start supports, which is another very helpful one. So if you get a job and we can confirm your employment with the employer, we can give you work boots or work gear, or even provide you with gas cards to get to work for the first few weeks.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So there's a lot.
Is this something that you have to, so Like, do you have to be unemployed and desperate to take advantage of your guys' services, or?
So the eligibility is to be a BC resident, legally eligible to work in BC, and then so you meet the program definition of unemployed or precariously employed is how that works. So you working less than 20 hours a week, in receipt of imminent layoff. Clients with disabilities unable to maintain employment or requiring more hours. Unstable or unsustainable employment is another one that we can go with. And be assessed as required employment services case management to achieve employment are the criteria.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you think, even if you think that you might lose your job or things are kind of, not good at work, that you could be considered precariously employed, and yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a very broad spectrum of.
Yeah, because everybody's got different things going on, and yeah, life throws a lot of stuff at us. So as we're finding out recently, right?
So that being said, how does COVID? Sorry, I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. COVID affect the people looking for jobs and your guys' role in that?
Yeah, it's the lack of job opportunities has been a major, barrier we're trying to overcome right now. The jobs are popping up, but they're limited. So that's where we come in, where the workshops that we can do with resume help, interview help, even marketing stuff, self-marketing, stuff like that will help people, because we might have to expand our job search area and different things like that. And and we provide job search assistance for all of that. Of course, people are limited within the building. There's 6 total allowed, and then masks is how we're operating. And but the doors are open, and we're there. So,
was there a time where you guys just said nobody's allowed in, but you can still phone us?
Yeah, at the end of March till June 1st.
Okay,
is
wow.
how long we're
Well, it's good to see that you guys are open then.
Yeah.
Great.
But we always virtual. Yep, we can do virtual and all that kind of stuff too. So.
You might have already said this, but what's your catchment area for your building specifically?
So it includes Merritt, Lillooet, and Ashcroft. We go all the way to Clinton as well, and Logan Lake. Yeah, is our
And now you have a bit of a presentation that you want to show us.
Yeah.
Do you want to walk us through that?
Yeah. So we kind of went through the first shot already. Screen. It's the eligibility criteria. And then the next one just talks about the self-serve services. As I kind of already discussed, we have the computer stations. We've got the private training room as well. So if you need to do an online course, we can, set you up in there and nobody will bother you. And photocopying, faxing, scanning, we, have all that for employment-related things.
And there's no charge for any of this.
As long as it's employment related.
Okay.
If it's for something to send stuff off to your friend, well, then that's not really something that we would do. But and we even have a phone that clients can use, if they want a phone for job search purposes and resume stuff. And then of course we have the job postings out on the window now is where they are. So we had them on the job board inside initially, but this way if they're on the window, then we can kind of limit traffic, and then people could take pictures of them from outside. Yeah.
During COVID, have you seen a drop in job postings, or has it stayed fairly level, or?
It's kind of gone up and down, I would say. Yeah, not really been steady at all, but more limited at times for sure. There was less in the summer.
Right. Mm-hmm. You and WorkSafe BC are 2 different entities, correct?
For sure.
Okay. Now, I thought that for some reason you guys were attached to COVID safety regulations, like following up and helping businesses, but that might have just been something in my head.
That's separate, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so that's that one. We also offer, can do specialized assessments for clients with multiple barriers or health issues that they may be experiencing. We can send them to specialists in Merritt. There's an office there that we deal with that does these type of assessments. So like neurological, vocational, functional, all these, a whole bunch of different kinds. So we can pinpoint exactly what's going on with a person, and then we can kind of develop a good plan for them and see what would be a good career goal and so that they are successful. And
Wow.
Yeah. So that's another thing. And job search and job start, so I kind of discussed that already. With the job start as well, we can also offer dependent care supports, which I know dependent care is one thing we do struggle with in this community. We could use more dependent care facilities. However, we do offer that. If a client gets a job, we can cover those costs for them.
Okay.
Yeah, for the first few weeks until they get paid.
Do you do people put you down on their resume as a reference, or do you guys try to stay out of that?
Generally, we kind of try and stay away from that. I guess it would be dependent upon the situation and the relationship.
Okay.
For example, we just hired two new employment advisors as well in the office.
Oh, nice.
So, for example, if they were working with one of those employment advisors and maybe wanted to put me as a reference, because of the relation, that might be okay, right?
Right.
Because we're not so involved, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So. And also for the dependent care supports, we have information for people that they can apply for other subsidies and whatnot from the government to cover those costs for the whole time that they're working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the limit for that is $100,000 a year. So pretty much everybody qualifies for those free subsidies, yeah.
Well, so in this case, what would dependent care mean?
So like daycare costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So even
Gotcha.
if
Gotcha.
your family member is looking after your children while you're working, you can apply for the provincial subsidy, and they'll even pay your family member.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. And then the short-term orientation and certificate courses that we offer, so we can help clients pretty well. Everybody's eligible for this. There's no EI attachment for this one, as long as it's kind of working towards what your employment goal is going to be. So all your food safe, serving it right, WMIS, first aid, all those types of courses we can help sponsor for clients.
First aid, is there a limit on the level? Or?
Yes, sorry. The first aid level 1 for this particular, for the 2 or 3, that would be considered the skills training program. So it involves a lot more. There's a workbook clients have to fill out, and research package that we have to do, and yeah, because it costs more money and just a much bigger training program, right?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then the workshops. Okay, the wage subsidy program, that's one thing I wanted to talk about as well, because we actually have one right now going on with the terminal. And they are going to be looking for 4 more participants to participate in the wage subsidy program.
Okay.
These positions are labor positions, and so the way this wage subsidy program works is that WorkBC actually pays part of the wages for the employer, and we work together. And it's another type of, similar to the job creation project, but in gaining experience for clients in an area that they have no previous experience in, and which helps them just in general with their career goals. And so the terminal is looking for 4 more people, and actually they're looking for 8. 4 of them are going to be under this wage subsidy, and then the other 4 will be just employed as regular employees.
Is there a low age, high age limit?
Well, 19,
Okay.
and you have to be 19 or not in high school to, be in the WorkBC to be eligible for services as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like a 17-year-old summer jobs thing?
No.
No?
Not for that, not for this part, no. And then I lost track.
I'm sorry. These questions are popping into my head as we're going
Yeah,
here.
that's right. Yeah. So they need 4, and then so with the youth though, we actually cover more of the youth's wages up to 19 to 30, right?
Nice.
And then so that's 75% we cover for that, and then for the other participants it's 50. So. And then same with that, we can supply the work gear and whatever the clients need to get started with that also. And these are 6-month programs, and you have a determined set of skills you're going to learn each month that the employer, sets out. And and then once you're successful, you can be hired on by the company, possibly permanently, or if you so choose, you can move on to alternate employment.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you guys don't have like work boots in your office.
No.
Do care what store people get work boots from, or do you have a place that you generally go
we try
to?
and deal with NGN locally, right?
Nice,
You wanna
okay.
support the locals
Yep.
always for sure. And so Mark's Work Warehouse, we have an account with them as well if we can't find what we need at NGN, but we always go to NGN first. So.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. And with the skills training program, also, so we do the tuition, books and supplies. There's no limit to that. That's extra on top of the 7,500. And then we can also provide transportation supports if the clients need to get to school, like to Kamloops or whatever, and there's a limit per week and whatnot. But yeah.
Well, like you would drive them into camp? What do you mean?
Gas cards.
Oh, okay,
We can
gas
supply
cards,
gas
gotcha.
cards, or automatic deposit, depending once we work out all the financials and everything right into their bank account.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So, and then the living supports as well. We can apply for that while they're in the training, and so that's determined based on their expenses and their, if they do have any income coming in at all, because you can be on EI while you do this too.
Right.
Yeah. So we work out all the expenses and figure out what you get for living supports per week, and then everything's just automatically deposited into your bank
Wow.
while you do your school, because we want to support you the whole way through and make sure you're successful. So.
So let's say someone, for example, wanted to get into the film industry.
Yes.
Is that something that you would,
So as part of the research part of that, we have to make sure that for our area, or unless you're willing to move to an area that we have to make sure that there's going to be a job at the end of the training.
right.
Yeah, so which is another part of the research, you have to provide job postings locally, or, if they are from other areas, then that's one thing you have to say, that you might be interested in moving or
Okay.
relocating, and
No, that's good clarification. So.
Yeah, and with that too, we can also get your grade 12 done if you need that.
Oh, wow.
Also, yeah.
So maybe it's a shorter list. What don't you do? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. So we also do self-employment, which we work with Deborah Knott at Community Futures Sun Country to do that. That is our partnership with that. So that's a 52-week program that clients, they get involved with us. And same thing there, we can apply for living supports, and we help them through the whole process of starting up the business and whatnot. And
Nice.
Yeah. So that's another good avenue we can go for stuff. And yeah. And job development services. So clients with more barriers or challenges to employment, we can hook them up with a job developer out of Merit, and they can work one-on-one with them they'll even take them to various places to look for jobs. Yeah.
Is there an example of what a barrier might look like?
Physical or mental or
Okay.
different things like that. Then that's where our other assessments and different other supports come into play too. We can provide counseling
Right.
to people that might need it, that are survivors of violence and abuse, which of course can be a huge barrier for people. So to help them through just to get working. Yeah.
Cool.
And then customized employment services. So that's kind of similar to the job development. It's just, I would say, a little bit more in depth, where they make you a job, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to describe it, I'm just going to read it off of here. Creating a position that's customized to the individual needs of the job seeker. So that's where we would work with an employer to come up, if we can find an avenue that would work for us,
okay.
and the client to come up with a specific job position that will work with the client's barriers and different things that they have going on, and to develop a job that they're going to be able to do, right?
Right.
Yeah. So with that, we negotiate a customized position, as I just said, ongoing support and communication between the employer and employee to ensure a successful placement. So we don't just, you get the job, and we don't just send you out there to just, fend for yourselves. We keep the communication going between everybody, and to ensure that everything works out, right? And if any issues arise, we help to kind of mediate everything, right?
Right. Oh, sorry. I'll talk about what It's similar but different. I'll talk about it after.
I figured you had something there, but okay. Yeah, and then job coaching and funding for purchase of necessary disability supports is also connected with that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they need, so that's would be with our assistive technologies area as well. But so hearing aids, different things like that, we can look at that too. Yeah, just to support, help, or ergonomic equipment even. If somebody has physical issue, health concerns and stuff like that, to make their everyday life at work easy.
Wow, you guys really do a lot.
Yeah, a lot more than I think the community even was aware of. Yeah. So. And this survivor of violence and abuse counseling, I discussed that already. Yeah, so we 10 sessions for that one. I don't think I mentioned that as well. Yeah, and that can be done virtually, or you can go to the office in Kamloops.
Are they accepting people during COVID?
I think they were for a little bit. I would have to confirm where they're at now with that, but yeah. And project-based labor market training. So that can be associated with community and employer partnerships also is another program that we have where the town or like the village employers, if somebody has an idea to restore something in the town, a church or a building, or you want to put up a little playground somewhere for the kids or something, a little project like that, you can apply to the government, and they will, for this community and employer partnership fund, and that can also be associated with our project-based labor market training or a job creation project, and you can work together to get this project done. So just something totally out of the blue, that you might think that would benefit the community, and yeah.
Have you ever had something like that
We haven't been able to implement it yet. I've had a few things come across my desk that might happen in the future, so we'll see how that'll go. But it again provides experience to clients and, networking and community relations. So.
Do you have any ideas that people might like to take advantage of? Like do you with this program in mind, do you walk down the street and go, people could do that?
Yeah, we've thought of a few things, and there have been many of them done across I of course didn't bring that reference sheet to the examples that I had, but I think it was in Spence's Bridge they were actually looking at restoring one of the old churches, right?
Oh yeah.
So things like that. It could be almost anything, really, that would
Interesting.
benefit the community. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, get your ideas going, people.
Yeah.
WorkBC is here for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we've got the information, the connections to help people out, to tell them, show them where to apply and stuff like that. So
awesome. One of the things that came out of our job creation program for us was my job changed about a year ago to do civic journalism, and I got phone calls every 3 months. I want to say, from WorkBC to make sure that I was still employed. Yeah. Everything was going well. And then eventually you guys closed my file.
Yes.
Because can't go on forever, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah.
Yeah, so once clients achieve employment and everything, we check in with them 3 times over the year. So that was the follow-up that you were getting. And once you're successfully employed, then we close everything up as successful. And yeah.
So without naming names,
yes.
What is maybe one of the bigger success stories that you can think of, if you can think of a standout story of someone that took advantage of the
of course.
I gotta say, what's nice is that this didn't just shut down after the year program, right? This has now kept going because WorkBC stepped up and was able to help us out. So that's like, for all of this has gone on, that's pretty awesome.
Over the years, we've actually had a couple successful wage subsidies through Quality Glass.
Okay.
A few of their employees came through us, and we referred them, and they ended up keeping the staff on at the end of the wage subsidy program, and so those were good ones. We had one as well with Spence's Bridge for an office position, and she as well, that was successful, was offered employment permanent, and
wow.
Yeah, so.
So that in mind, what is one of the more interesting jobs that you've seen come up?
That I don't know. Yeah, I can't really say. Like interesting as far as what you
Like
mean.
something that you might not think of. This is something you go, huh? That's a job. Okay.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything totally off the wall. No,
No?
no, that I've
Ah.
seen recently. Oh no, there was one. It was I can't remember what they called it though. It was the person that goes and collects the bodies on the yeah.
Oh,
the
for like
deceased. Yeah. That was
like
an
animals?
interesting one. No, humans. Yeah,
Oh.
that was an interesting one I saw come up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that would be the most interesting, I would say. Generally, it's pretty tame, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is WorkBC a government agency,
Well,
or do you go after government grants and they sort of look
the
at you
government funds us.
and they
yes.
funnel money into you?
Yes, so that's what I meant by the Community Futures Thompson Country is the
Okay.
contractor in this area. So they provide us with a budget and we allocate it to the community, yeah.
Is there WorkBC in Vancouver?
Oh, yes. There's WorkBCs in every community, or, most communities. Yeah.
Do you know of any differences in the way that Vancouver does something, like a city does something in comparison to a rural area?
Each area is dependent on how the contractor wants to run it completely. Okay. Yeah. Of course, they have to run it within the standards that the ministry designates and whatnot. And but most of the other stuff they can kind of do it as they see that it should be run. The bigger cities, they tend to have a lot more workshops, things like that, because more staff maybe and more resources for that type of thing. They actually have like a set schedule. If you look up the WorkBC in Vancouver, you'll see right on their Google, it'll have workshop this day, and where we kind of just play it by ear and, as
Well, once you get enough
needs be.
people, you'll try and push for...
Well, and that right now we can only have like 2 people in a workshop
Right.
at once, right? So that'll be kind of an issue, moving forward that we're going to have to work around. But yeah, maybe more virtual. We might have to implement some of that, right? And then it would be nice to actually have online workshops that
Okay.
people can log into or whatever the clients or yeah.
Ooh, I got another one. As far as skills training goes,
Yes.
is there any, again, standout, ooh, that's an interesting thing that someone wants to get training in?
Yeah, nothing really to stand out. I don't know. We get a little bit of everything, right? Yeah. I've had a few cannabis retail applications and different things like that. Yeah.
Oh, well. No, that's a lot more than I was expecting that WorkBC does. I was under the impression it was sort of just, we have job postings, we'll help you with your resume, and beyond that.
Yeah. No,
Right?
there's lots.
So, no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are there any big, other than the terminal, any big projects that you guys have coming up in the next?
Yeah, well, as I said, the invasive species is, we still need one participant for that one. That one, however, is going to be done in March, but they're going to be doing it again. So, because
Okay.
we want to get amped up again for the next, the summertime and whatnot, spring, when it'll be main weed suppression time, right? So they'll be looking for 3 more again, upcoming in the spring here.
Okay.
And yeah, so that one will probably run until, I would say December, January. They have to get confirmation and approval, but yeah, that's the main one we've got. And then yeah, we're hoping to get some more wage subsidies on the go. So possibly, so if employers have anything that they might be able to come up with for people that they could, yeah.
I've asked about jobs postings during COVID.
Yes.
Have you gotten a lot more people looking for work?
Yes and no. I think CERB was a bit of a hindrance on that. People were liking that,
Right.
being able to hang out for the summertime was nice, right? Yeah, so overall, not so much, no.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah, it's been about the same, but hopefully this will help, right? So now that people will know what we can do.
Yeah.
Because they probably were a bit of the same, just thought we'd, help with a little bit of job search and resume other than that, but yeah, so hopefully now that people know.
And how can people get a hold of you?
So they can call. The number is 250-453-2499. You can email info-ashcroft@workbc.ca, and we also have a Facebook page, so you can look us up at Ashcroft. At WorkBC Ashcroft.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
I think that's about it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again very much for coming in. And
No,
again,
thank
thank
you.
you and WorkBC for getting us going when we were starting out. Highly appreciate it.
Oh, it was more our pleasure.
And I'm glad that we finally got to get you guys to come in and have an interview. I did try to get the previous person in your position a couple of times, but
We're very busy.
totally. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. But it's thank you for being my first interview of the year,
Woo!
2021. And hopefully we can do this again in the future.
You betcha.
Right on.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Take care.